What 10 changes would I make to the AFL if I was the CEO? As we all know, Gil McLachlan has ditched the role, Andrew Dillon coming in, but let's just imagine they took me. What 10 changes would you make to the AFL? Now, I'm going to go through all of my 10. So I've got them on the laptop. Starting off with number 1, I would introduce new AFL teams, right? Since the Tasmania license, I would introduce new teams coming from Western Australia, South Australia, and the Northern Territory, and obviously Tasmania, but they already got a team. Now, Western Australia, footy crazy, South Australia, footy crazy, and the Northern Territory, footy crazy as well. Therefore, it's simple, add in a club. Now, we obviously need a lot more talent and money to do this, which I'll get to a bit later. The NT is crazy with talent. I mean, we see some of the best AFL talent coming from there, and then South Australia and Western Australia, they deserve a third club. Now, sort of in relation to 1, for number 2, let's look at how we can obtain this talent and sort of generate more money. And to do that, let's look at sponsorships and source outside of Australia, where, you know what, talent can come from where Mason Cox is from. It can come from all over the world. Why just Australia? You know, the EPL, English Premier League, is the best league in soccer or football, but they have abundance of talents from Africa, Mohamed Salah, they have it from obviously around Europe, they have it from South America, even in Asia, Heung-min Son. So let's get talent from abroad. And I don't know how money works, but get more TV rights, more sort of sponsorships. Now, number 3, Thursday night games every single round, the whole year. And this will help stop crossover games. I hate when you have to flick between channels. It's annoying, right? And if you have a Thursday night game, that means you have one less game on the Saturday or the Sunday. At number 4, 7:20 starts, no later. I don't care what kind of game it is. I'm sick of these 7:50 starts, 7:40 starts, where the game finishes at nearly 11 o'clock. I mean, think about all the kids watching, they've got to be tired. If you are introducing Thursday night games, obviously they've got school on Friday. Just generally, why do you have to start it so late? Just start it at 7:20. It works fine. It helps people go out after as well if you want. It's not so late. It just literally makes no sense why it's 7:50. At number 5, this is Jared Waitley inspired, but only one bounce in the whole game, and that is the first center bounce. For all the other start of the quarters, you know, the second quarter, third, fourth quarter, just throw it up. It just saves them the hassle. They've already complained about sort of back pains and stuff like that. You really do just need that first bounce in the first quarter. Maybe put it in the fourth quarter as well, because, you know, the second, third quarter typically sort of mellow. The first and fourth are when everyone's really involved. Now, at number 6, this one's a little bit controversial, but if the Gold Coast Suns do not make finals by 2026, get rid of them. This would have been 15 years after their inception into the AFL, and what have they done? Now, we've seen time and time again Gold Coast clubs, whether it's, you know, in the basketball franchise, the soccer code of sport, or just other Australian sporting codes, they all fail on the Gold Coast. The team goes bankrupt, they completely fail, and to be honest, I think the AFL can be spending their money a lot better, like the teams I've mentioned before. People in the Gold Coast don't really care about footy, they're more a rugby state, so why not just give that team to the Northern Territory where they care, or a third one to Western Australia or South Australia? Since their inception to the AFL, they've always had the least amount of fans. At number 7, let's make a defender award. Let's make the Golden Fist, it could be called. I'm sick of forwards only getting recognition in the Coleman, midfielders only getting recognition in the Brownlow. Let's get the Golden Fist going. A money prize, something where, you know, it actually matters. Maybe it's something you add on the Brownlow night. Just find a way to get more recognition for these defenders. Because after all, it's defenses that win premierships. Now, at number 8, I've gone a little bit different. I would add 2 variants of a Premiership medal. Now, one of them is normal, that goes to all the team that played on grand final day. The other goes to every single person part of that squad. And that goes for, you know, the players that played a game that year. So I think anyone who played a single game for the Premiership winning club that year should get this award. All the coaches, the staff. You hear those unfair stories of, you know, players missing out of the grand final. Jack Graham in 2019. I mean, there's plenty of stories of people missing out. Robert Murphy would have got a medal if it was like that. I just think even if you played one game, but, you know, players who play like 22 games out of 23 and then get injured or something, they still deserve something. And I just think, you know, following sort of from what soccer does, like in a trophy, let's say the Premier League. If you win the Premier League, it's not just the 11 who win, you know, it's the whole single squad. Now, at number 9, this is pretty simple. The tribunal, fix it up. I'm sick of players' actions not being judged. Why do we have to suspend players or judge, you know, whether we should suspend them or how long, the severity of it based on the outcome? It's the action. If I throw a cracking right hook at, you know, someone and they get up and they're fine, you know what, I'd probably get a week or something. But if I, you know, try and tackle them in the spirit of the game and then it just goes wrong and the head hits the ground where it's a perfectly normal tackle, because they're concussed, I'm probably gonna get 2 weeks as well. It just makes no sense. Judge the action, obviously take, you know, the outcome, take that into account, but it's just makes no sense and I just generally, they've got to fix up the whole tribunal. The amount of stuff, the amount of shit. I want to see more suspensions for things like diving. Get that out of the game. I know the head is a massive talking point in the AFL right now. We do have to find a way to stop those dangerous tackles, but you know what? Just fix it up. And then stop, having these rules for Ginnivan, Toby Green. Let's have one rule and let's stick to it. At number 10, this is also Premier League or soccer based, or influence at least. Let's have a mid-season window. Now hear me out, sounds dumb. Halfway through the season, instead of just having the sort of mid-season draft, let's see if we can ship players here and there. A good example, if let's say a Brodie Grundy and Max Gawn go down with season-ending injuries early in the year, at the halfway point of this mid-season draft, let's say Melbourne come to Richmond. Richmond have an abundance of rucks. We've got Soldo, named Curvis. We've got that really tall American bloke. We've got a couple young rucks as well. So we have plenty. Let's say that Melbourne come to us, to Richmond, saying, we want one of your rucks. We choose, Colin Mate, I think that is his name. He hasn't played a game for us yet. Let's say, yep, you can have him. Why not? I feel like it'll just add more. And I get the argument that to win a premiership, you've got to build the team, the 22, the squad from the start. There's a lot of skill involved with that, accounting for the injuries, having depth. But I still think it would just add so many layers to the game if we were to sort of, jump on what the Premier League or soccer in general does, not just the Premier League, but even if the games are going, let's see if we can have these sort of trades to help clubs out, to give players more opportunity. I think it makes more sense than what it doesn't. So that is my 10 changes I would make if I was the AFL CEO. Some bold changes, some very needed changes as well. I feel like a lot of people will agree with some of the ones I say. A lot of you will be laughing, thinking, what the actual hell are you talking about? But let me know what you think. Let me know what your 10 changes would be. List in the comments. I am actually intrigued in them because, jog the brain, get your creative side thinking, and what would you change to make the AFL better in the now and the long term? Follow the TikTok FTFooty. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in another video.